What is your leadership sweet spot? Well, guess what? We're going to get right into that today on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, with our special guest, Reverend Dr. Alyn E. He's hanging out with us here in the virtual green room, and we're going to be coming right up to talk about this amazing topic right after this quick intro. Don't you move.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Again, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. We are so excited to have you tuning in from all across the world wide web. We see you coming in from all over Facebook, all over YouTube, all over Twitter, LinkedIn, certainly those that are listening from Sharvette.com, those that are checking us out and listening from Blog Talk Radio, and then certainly all of our podcast stations. We appreciate you. Listen, this segment, I am telling you, if you are a leader in any capacity, if you are an entrepreneur, you know my entrepreneurs, you all always hang out with us. Entrepreneurs, small business owners, I want you to tag another business owner and say, come check out this show. If you are a not-for-profit leader, I want you to tag a partner or supporter and say, come listen to this show. Certainly, if you are in ministry and a ministry leader, I want you to tag a fellow co-laborer in the vineyard and tell them they need to come check this show out. We are going to set it off today when we talk about leadership. And we're going to be helping you today uncover your leadership sweet spot with our guest, Reverend Dr. Alyn E. He's here with us. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone that's coming on in. We see you. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, let me jump right on in. And introduce our guest because we don't want to miss any of the juicy nuggets. Reverend Dr. Alyn E. is the senior pastor of the largest Black congregation in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church, over 15,000 members. He's also the founder of AEW Leadership and Executive Coaching Institute. Dr. is an alumnus of the Harvard Business School's program for leadership development and a certified executive life coach by the International Coach Federation, ICF. Dr. is also an author of 3 books. He is well-traveled, well-known nationally, internationally, I'm going to say recognized as a revivalist, a lecturer, and a vocalist. And he's here today on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show to help you uncover your leadership sweet spot. That's what we're here for today. Again, thank you for all of those that are coming on in. We appreciate you listening. Listen, I know Philly is in the house. Philly is here in the house. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of those that are watching and joining us live. And if you're catching this out a little bit later, let me get out of the way and into the way as we bring our guest up live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Give a big virtual round of applause for Reverend Dr. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Hey, I am great, Sharvette. How are you?
I am wonderful. Listen, the studio is full. Our guests are here in the audience, and certainly it is an honor and a pleasure to talk to someone of your caliber, to be able to share about leadership. And so before I get too far ahead of myself, I'd love for you to talk about the journey and the growth of Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church. Certainly you didn't start where you are, but tell us a little bit about the beginning.
Thank you for that. Enon Tabernacle is the oldest African-American Baptist church in the Germantown section of Philadelphia and the 55th Baptist church in the city. I came here 28 years ago, and quite frankly, that was on the front end of what this country was experiencing in terms of the 90s and the church growth movement. We're just learning about the full gospel movement and so forth. But it was a smaller church. There were about 150 people coming to church on Sunday morning.
Wow.
Um, so the growth over the last 28 years has been exponential. And I'd like to believe that it has to do with what God's purpose for this church was in spite of me when he started Enon in 1876.
Wow.
But then also, I believe that the Lord has allowed us to have a unique approach that focuses on children, focuses on families of our faith, and keeps Jesus at the center of it. And that's fundamentally who we are and who we have sought to be for the last 28 years.
Wow, wow, wow. And certainly Enon is here. We see you in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting and being here. And certainly your leadership, in this journey is very evident just from what you just said. And so we have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch the show, a lot of small business owners, certainly ministry. You're well known in ministry already. When did you become passionate about leadership development?
Yeah, thank you for that. I really get passionate about it when I realized I was growing out of my comfort zone. You know, the
Mm,
average size church in America is 150 members. I am
mhm.
fundamentally a musician who is an artist who loves people.
Yeah.
So I've been trained in the traditional understanding of pastoring. So I was very comfortable with pastoring a smaller church because I love people. But when it began to grow and we began to have staff, and then I looked up one day and that word that's not our word, but the word that the world uses, mega church, got attached to it. I'm like,
Wow.
I don't really know what I'm doing. I am a right-brained person living in a left-brain world. And so I began to search for help, which is a thing that I think all leaders have to do. You continue to grow and you
Yes.
continue to stretch. So I began to look for different ways to learn about leadership, to ask the questions about leaders being born or leaders being made. What is my gifting and how do I do this? How do I move from being a sole proprietor, if you will,
Mm,
or a
mhm.
paid shepherd, to sharing that with others? And so I guess 15 years ago, I really got serious about I need to learn how to do this better.
Mm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. And so, because what's so interesting is if I talk about the entrepreneurial and small business space, is
Yeah.
there's a two-edged sword. There's a good and there's a bad. The good is anybody can be an entrepreneur, anybody can jump into business. The
Hmm.
bad is anybody can jump in. It's the same. The good and the bad is the same. And
That's
so,
right.
where do you learn leadership? You could have someone that works at McDonald's that is good at web design and jumps out and starts a web design business. You could have someone that's a VP at a bank that's good at web design and jumps out and starts a web design business. But there is a difference of that leadership piece
That's right.
that VP is going to bring to the table. So I am loving this. Thank you again for all the comments that are coming in. And so you just kind of touched on, are leaders born? Are they
Hmm.
made? We'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Well, yeah, I believe because I'm sort of deeply rooted in sort of a biblical worldview. I believe that leadership is a gifting, and so I believe that leaders are born, but you can be an immature leader. You can be a
Uh-huh.
mature leader. I actually have four categories that I think about leadership because you can be a good and ineffective leader. You can be a good and effective leader, or you can be a bad and effective leader or bad and ineffective leader. Because if you are a leader, you're going to lead.
Yes.
When I do baby dedications and I'm holding the children, I say, now, if this child is a leader, um, she's going to lead. What she's going to lead, whether it's a corporation or a gang, depends on how you parents raise her. But
Ooh.
if she is going to lead, she's going to lead because God has put leader in her. So I fundamentally believe that we're born, but what you do with that, because everything that God gives you is in seed form. Whatever
Mm.
God gives you, He's partnering with you, and so He'll give you the seed of it and expect you to go out and follow His principles and hone your craft and grow in it.
He is partnering with us. And the question is, are we partnering with him?
Right.
Oh, that's
Right.
good right there.
That's right.
Oh, that's good right there. If you just tuned in, welcome. You're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. We're talking about uncovering your leadership sweet spot. We've got amazing guests here with us. Reverend Dr. Alyn E is here in the virtual studio. All right. And so this I want to delve more into, how do leaders kind of figure out where their sweet spot is?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. There's a diagram that I'd like to use, and I encourage everyone, even listening today, if you were to take 3 circles and draw the circles so that they intersect with each other. Each circle represents some aspect of who you are. There is one circle that is what you love to do. So you draw that circle and put what you love to do in there. Then you draw another circle and let that circle intersect with that circle and put in that what others value in you. So now you have what you love to do and what others value in you. And then draw one more circle. It'll look like a triangle. And what you are gifted to do, what you're good at. So now if you look at those 3 circles, you have what you love to do, what others value in you, and then what you do well. Now you'll find that there are some intersections. In one spot, they all intersect, and that's your sweet spot. That's where you need to live. You do it well, you love to do it, and others value it in you. But if you look on that diagram, you'll also find another spot, and that is people value you doing it, and you do it well, but you don't love it.
Oh,
called the trap.
Yeah.
That's called the trap. And many of us may find ourselves living in the trap because of money, because people value that you do it, and you do it well. And so you end up getting paid for it. But the killer is you don't love it. And because you don't love it, it's killing you. You do it well, and you can get paid for it. But what our best leaders lead in the sweet spot, in that you love doing it, you're good at doing it, and people value your doing it. And we have to be honest about that.
Yeah.
We have to be honest about, and the piece that we have to be honest about is our own personal passion. When you get up in the morning, you ought to be excited about what you're getting ready to do. Getting up saying, "Good morning, Lord," and not "Good Lord, it's morning."
Yes.
And that's when you're in the sweet spot. And that's when, for our language in the church, that's when the anointing flows.
Yes.
But that's also when people feel you. Because people can feel whether you're there or not, and whether you really love what you do or don't love what you do. And I would encourage all of those that are watching you, the entrepreneurs. I mean, the sweet spot is in authenticity.
Yeah.
And authenticity is where you have passion around that. Because many of us are dying on the vine, living for people and living for paychecks. But the real sweet spot is when you're living in your passion and your authority and your calling.
Oh, listen, that's so good. Tony Winston here from Richmond, Virginia said, "Woo, child, the trap. Yes, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and I'm gonna have Dr. Waller come back and help us, because I know there are people in the audience saying, I'm in the trap. I'm in that trap." And so I'd love for you to kind of give them some guidance after the commercial break. If you resonate with what was just said and you feel like you're in the trap and not in your sweet spot, I want you to type trap. We're gonna help you out. All right. Reverend Waller, we're going to have you go back into the virtual green room. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to bring you back. All right. Again, welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell radio show. We're going to take a very quick commercial break. We'll be back here live.
To do
when I grow up.
When I grow up.
I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
I don't want to cry when paying the bills.
When I grow up.
I don't want to be turned down for a business loan.
I don't want to borrow a lot for an education.
And then not know what to do with it.
When I grow up, I don't want to be paid less.
Told I'm underqualified.
Or overqualified.
When I grow up,
When I grow up,
I want to know how to save for my future.
Find a job I like.
And start my own business.
When I grow up,
I want to know how to provide for my family.
And invest in my community and make a difference.
When I grow up.
When I grow up.
When I grow up.
when I grow up, I just want things to be different.
At Junior Achievement, we promote economic empowerment through education, but we can't do it alone.
A high-achieving woman entrepreneur who is ready to ditch being invisible and unpolished, but finally ready to shine a spotlight on your expertise and services. Good news. There's a better way to increase the visibility of your personal brand and gain more customers. Let Sharvette Mitchell show you with the Platform Builder Program. The Platform Builder Program is her signature 12-month group coaching program built for female entrepreneurs and leaders who are ready to position their expertise and services with a polished visual brand. Increase visibility with speaking opportunities, build authority with a published book, and convert more customers with content marketing. Not only do you walk away with all the juicy strategic nuggets in Sharvette's head, but with the tangible outcomes that you can see and feel. Find out more and apply at www.platformbuilder.biz.
All right, welcome back. All right, so let's jump back on in. Listen, we're loving all the comments. I want you to take in what is being said. Do you love what you do? Do you love what you do? Do you love what you do? Let's get Dr. Waller back up here on the virtual stage. And so let's continue this conversation. I'm seeing trapped. I was trapped for several years. I'm seeing people resonating that they have experienced a trap. So what do you say to that person who is in the trap versus their sweet spot?
Yeah, thank you for that. First of all, being honest about that, and being honest about what your passion really is. And then for those of us who are leading, you're an entrepreneur, you're building your business, or you are pastoring, you're putting your staff together. You staff towards your weakness and you live in your strength. So I have a staff of 8 pastors who work with me. I am visionary. I love people. I'm sort of artsy. I don't need a bunch of visionary, love people, artsy people. I
got that covered.
I got that covered. I need strategic, transformative, sometimes transactional leaders. When you study leadership across the board, and that's not to suggest that any of the people next to me don't have that same love and passion, but when you study leaders, when you study movements, usually the out front visionary charismatic leader, seldom is he or she also the strategic strategist in the back. Seldom that person has a chief of staff that does the stuff that she or he cannot do or does not do well. And so being honest about staffing to your weakness so you can live in your strength, which requires a level of trust and relationship that goes beyond the X's and O's of the boardroom. But it begins with being honest and then staffing toward your weakness so that you can live in your strength, having trust and being mature enough to allow others to live in their sweet spot as well. Because when you have someone on your staff or with you that is living in their sweet spot and excelling, danger can be becoming intimidated by them.
Yeah.
But you can get comfortable and allow your greatness to allow others to be great as well. Then you can live in your sweet spot and your organization can thrive.
Oh, excellent. I want to capture this question here that has come in. How do you honestly assess what you're good at, especially when you distinguish it from what you enjoy and what others appreciate from you?
Thank you. It's feedback. At the AEW leadership piece, we focus on a particular type of leader, and that is a visa leader. Being a visa leader means to be someone who has vision, integrity, structure, and accountability. And so during the coaching and during the sessions, we help you develop your own vision. We talk about integrity as integration, not just sinless perfection, but integration, meaning what's in your head is being done with your hands and is in your heart. And then we ask you to look at the structure of what you're doing. Now, I ran through that quickly to get to accountability. Yeah. Accountability is building into your life feedback from your constituency, from your partners, so that you can assess whether you're doing it well. You know, I'm a pastor, and quite frankly, in the church, we have not done across the board. The
Right.
church has not done a good job at giving pastors feedback. Our theology doesn't allow it in some cases.
Yeah.
Because if the pastor represents God, how dare we tell him that wasn't good?
Yeah.
And some of us have egos the size of southern watermelons, and we can't handle. And so being able to handle feedback and setting up feedback loops so that you can get an honest assessment from yourself and people as to what you do well or not. I think that is critical. And then once you have that feedback, live in your lane. And again, that's the passion and so forth.
Yes, yes. And so the AEW Leadership and Executive Coaching Institute is a perfect avenue for those that are listening and watching, that are in that leadership space, wanting to strengthen their leadership, church ministry, corporate world. Talk a little bit about the institute and what you've created.
Yes, thank you for that. So the last experience that I had with the Harvard Business School, I went because I wanted to test my assumptions about leadership in a non-religious context, and I wanted to strengthen my leadership skills. While there, I was given a coach. So I was in this program for 2 years, and I had this coach, and I realized that while I was being coached, this person was doing for me what I have been attempting to do with associate ministers for the last 20 years, just different language.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I want to learn these coaching skills in a non-religious context and bring it back, first of all, for my associate ministers. And then I wanted to help young pastors not bleed where I bled.
Ooh.
I've made a lot of mistakes as a pastor. And I mean, real leaders, you try things. I mean, I may not have, I have some I wish I hadn't, but I'm not going to leave here with a bunch of I wish I had's. And so, I mean, you try things and you go after, sometimes they fail. And I don't want any young leaders to bleed where I bled. So I started this to help younger pastors think it through. But what I realized is that leadership is leadership.
Yes.
I have something to offer persons who are not pastors, who are not leading churches, because at the end of the day, whatever the organization is, whatever the thing is, it needs a leader. I believe that leader needs to be a visa leader, a woman or man who has vision, integrity, structure, and accountability. So I started this to help people think about what they are leading, to develop vision for the thing that they are leading. So the Institute is a whole experience where you put together your own capstone project for the thing that you are doing. You spend some time in classroom, and then in the latter portions of the 3-month experience, I'm just a coach. I'm someone that you can bounce off of your ideas, and you will ultimately come through this and come out with a capstone project that will hopefully strengthen the thing that you are leading. I want to just push you, to challenge you to think maybe a little more than you have been thinking about the thing that you're leading, and also to think critically about yourself. None of us are perfect. All of us make mistakes. All of us are broken, and all of us can get better. And that has been my journey, and I'd like to help others on their journey. Because what I've noticed, and I leave it here, when we begin to think about organizations in the African American community,
yes,
quite frankly, the church is one of the things that's still standing. And so there's great wisdom from what has happened in the church. And I hold on to some of those great lessons that I've learned from pastors past. But what I also know is that we can get better, and that there are plenty of businesses in our community that need to strengthen the leadership. When you go into a McDonald's and the line is out the door, uh, it's not about the fry cook, it's about the manager. When
Yeah.
you go and you're waiting and you're sitting there waiting on your food in a fine restaurant and it's moving slow, it's not about that waitress, it's about that manager. We need to recognize just how important leadership is. Leadership makes a difference. And so I want to help people think about that for themselves.
Powerful, powerful. And we have on the screen, if you're watching, the website to go. If you're on any of our other platforms, the website is there in the show notes. Just look down. I invite you to go and at least join the email list, because you'll be in connection. You'll get the information. I want to capture this comment here from Miss Gina. Excellent course. I highly recommend you join. So there is a testimonial right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what is so powerful, you said you're just a coach. And I know that you just mean, but to have you, the years, the experience, everything that you're bringing to the table, be available for someone to have a one-on-one with you, that is crazy. That there are people out here that are coaching, and they might have a year under their belt. And I'm speaking on the business side, not on the church side, because of what I've already mentioned. But for someone of your caliber, I mean, that quite honestly, that the institute it doesn't even, you don't even have to think about it. If you're wanting to be in this leadership place, then this is absolutely the direction to go.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Did you struggle with, not struggle, but did you when you were thinking about how do I do this, was an institute kind of the first thing? Did you have other things on your list?
Well, quite frankly, I started with just, and you've already corrected me on this, just wanting to be a coach. My heart is, I really love people. I love the species called people, and I like being a pastor. I love being the pastor of the Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church, and I just wanted to help people, and I want to help my sons and daughters in ministry. So that's where it began. And then I was pushed to think a bit more about how this could structurally help people think about that. I often struggle with putting myself out there as an expert, because I don't believe that many that we are experts. And but I do recognize that there is a need for people to do some thinking about leadership. And my journey has been one of introspection, of success and failure. And so I think I have something to offer someone who is serious. Now, what this is not, it's not a place where you come and get a turnkey approach to starting your next business.
Right.
What this is an invitation for you to do some thinking for yourself. Because a real coach doesn't give you advice. A real coach doesn't tell you what to do. A real coach asks you questions and causes you to think. And for those of you that are not clergy, Phil Jackson could never play basketball like Michael Jordan, but he did help him get 6 trophies. I don't have to know your business to help you think about what it means to be the leader in this moment. And so I'm excited about what the future of this is going to be, because I believe some people who take it seriously help themselves grow into the leader God called them to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's business, but ministry focused, absolutely. Nonprofit leaders, so all can benefit from the institute there. And depending on where you're watching, there's some comments. from the pages we've tagged on all of the social media sites. So that's a great connection point there. Again, if you're at Sharvette.com, all of the links are there for you. It's available here on the screen, screenshot it. And again, I invite you just to go, even if you just join the email list, to stay, because you get some benefits for being on the email list and stay connected. And because this has opening and closing, so this is not kind of like you can't just get in whenever you want to. Is there another opportunity coming up where there's the next cohort, if you will?
Yes, we have just closed this first cohort, and we will be doing a fall cohort in September. So we encourage people to join the leadership community. Even if you never do the class, being in the leadership community, you're going to rub shoulders with other people who are on this journey. And there will be periodically, there will be content that will help you just think about what it means to lead. And I want to encourage you to strive to be a good and effective leader.
Yeah. All right. We honor your time. We're wrapping up. The last question. The goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
Thank you for that. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, I am a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I am motivated by my love for God. I really want to see people come to know Christ in the pardon of their sins. I mean, I know that sounds churchy and corny, but that I really love people. And I really love watching people walk into their high place and the thing that God has for them. And that's what motivates me. So helping people and strengthening our community is what gets me up in the morning. And to the extent that I can do it through this, or on a Sunday morning, or through a song, or through ministry efforts in the street, that's what motivates me, is somebody getting helped and our people growing as a result of it. And so I encourage people to find that thing that is passion for them, because that's what makes life easy.
Yes. And listen, we weren't gonna make you pull out an instrument and play live today. We let you off the hook. Let me just capture this from Harriet. As far as classes and information, please visit the website. Thank you for your question. Visit the website and you'll get all the information that you need there. Dr. Waller, thank you for being such an amazing guest and pouring into our audience. And we are just going to keep our eye on you and wish continued success for your business, your ministry, the Institute, and all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. God keep you.
Thank you. Wow. I know that this is a segment that you're going to need to hear again. And I invite you to share this out. If you're like, oh my goodness, I forgot to tag somebody because it was so good, I was eating it. Listen, we want you to share this out, because I know that you want to go back and listen to what was said. Thank you so much again for all. Listen, the comments are coming on in. I have to acknowledge my senior chief apostle, Olive C. Brown, has stopped into the building. Thank you for being here. I'm under her leadership, along with Bishop Joel Vincent Brown out of Richmond, Virginia. Thank you again so much. You all know I try to pop your comments up, but going so fast today. Thank you for being here. Again, stop by Sharvette.com. We have the full bio for our guests. We have all of the connection points, the social media links, how to find out about the Institute and get all the information that you need. Thank you. I see all of your comments. Thank you so much for being here. And it is a wrap. We're going to wrap it up today here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you later on the web.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.